So there's a lot of talk about defunding the police. That actually is, so should we defund the police? That actually is a wrong question, because that's not what it's all about. It's not about defunding the police. It is about getting rid of the police. It's about abolishing the police. Not just the police, the justice system as well, which they're already talking about as well, that needs to be getting rid of because it's racist. But that racism is being used by the Democratic Party to change this country from a free society, from a constitutional republic. We're not a democracy, okay? From a constitutional republic, which is much better than a democracy, because democracy is a rule of the majority, so the majority can just put in anything they want. Under a constitutional republic, minorities are protected. But so they want to get rid of that. They want to get rid of the republic and want to install Marxism, socialism, communism, whatever you want to call it. Their utopia, which is a totally oppressive system and society, where I came from, and I escaped twice, so I know what I'm talking about. So why do they need to get rid of the police? Because the police stands in the way of the goal of the Democratic Party to fundamentally transform America, as Obama promised. He's one of them that wants to get rid of the republic. So it's actually a joke that he's a constitutional scholar, because he wants to get rid of the Constitution. But anyway, so the police stands in the way. Even the police that is in big cities that have been controlled by the Democratic Party for 40, 50 years, the Democratic Party hasn't been able to get control of the police. They are still kind of independent and separate, and the Democrats know that the police will not support this fundamental transformation in installment of a dictatorship by the Democratic Party. So that's why they need to get rid of the police. Remember when they used to always rally against the army? You know, the military was always evil and bad. All the liberals and Democrats and progressives, no matter what they call themselves and change names, it's always the same. They're Marxist, they're communist, that's what they are. And they always rallied against the military. Why don't they do that anymore? Why suddenly they support the military? Well, there's an easy answer to that, because they took control of the military. And Obama did that. Obama replaced all the top brass in the military, the generals, the colonels, the majors, replaced them all, and or forced them to retire and put in leftists, progressives, communists in charge. So they're not worried about the military. They're worried about the police. They stand in the way, so they have to get rid of them. And the judicial system, it's the same thing, because if you're going to have prosecutors and you're going to have judges that actually are going to adhere to the Constitution that guarantees you freedoms and rights and liberties, then, again, the Democratic Party cannot install their dictatorship. So, again, under the disguise of racism, that police are racist and the judicial system is racist, so we need to get rid of it and replace it. Well, replace it with what? Replace it with a system that I lived under in the Eastern Bloc behind the Iron Curtain that does the bidding of the ruling party. They did the same thing. That's why they want to replace it with, the same thing happened in my country, they replaced it with people's militia, they called it, where workers armed themselves and took over factories and took over polling polls and everything. And so it's the same thing. I lived through it, my parents lived through it, my grandparents lived through it. I know what I'm talking about. What the Democratic Party is doing is nothing new. People have done this before, 100 years ago, 50 years ago. And the Democratic Party is just following a playbook, how to install dictatorship. And you people are falling for it. And chaos is needed. What you're witnessing is the start of a Marxist revolution. So please, wake up, smell the Democrat, And don't be a useful idiot. Because we could lose this country in the next election, because if the Democratic Party wins, they're not going to pretend anymore. They're going to change the Constitution. They're going to stack the courts. They're going to change the laws. They're going to do everything. They're going to rig the system so bad that no independent, no Republican can ever win again. And they're going to totally transform, fundamentally change this country. And I guarantee you, you will not like it. And you think it cannot happen in America? It happened in so many countries around the world. And millions, tens of millions of people got killed, oppressed, imprisoned, lives destroyed. And that's what the Democratic Party is going to do to this country if you allow it to happen. So that's why also they want to take away your guns. So you have no means of protecting yourself. Every dictatorship always took guns away. One of the first things they did. So, buy a gun. Annoy a liberal. But mainly not to just annoy a liberal, but to protect yourself. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more videos like this, subscribe and click on the notification bell.